Country star John Rich is sending out his praises to the fraternity members of Pi Kappa Phi from the University of North Carolina after their efforts during a recent protest on campus. Throughout the recent weeks, we have seen several protests take place throughout the U.S. on several college campuses, but this particular event made national headlines after several members of the fraternity from UNC and also several other individuals who were on site banded together and protected the American flag as protesters attempted to destroy it. Now, not only is John Rich sending out his praises to these men, but he is also working to organize a massive event to celebrate freedom alongside the fraternity members and several other individuals who work together in protecting the American flag. So without further ado, let's hear from one of the fraternity members from the University of North Carolina who was involved with this. They shared details about this event to their X account, and then we will get to what John Rich had to say. What you see now is the very first tweet shared here to the X account. This is a long thread describing the events that took place on this day during this protest at the University of North Carolina. It reads, thread, today was a sad yet empowering day at Chapel Hill. When I walked to class, I saw the Palestinian flag raised on our quad flagpole and was immediately upset at the act that these protesters had made. I cannot say I am fully educated on the Israel-Palestine conflict. He goes on to say, but it upset me that my country's flag was disrespected in order to advocate for another. Shortly after, Chancellor Roberts came with police officers to hang the flag once again. They were met with profanity, middle fingers, thrown bottles, rocks, and water. When the flag was raised once again, the Greek community began singing the national anthem. As the chancellor left, the quad erupted into chaos as protesters began removing the flag once again, preparing to destroy it. My fraternity brother and others ran over to hold it up in order for it not to touch the ground. People began throwing water bottles at us, rocks, sticks, calling us profane names. We stood for an hour, defending the flag so many fight to protect. My parents started a new life in the United States, a country that has helped them flourish and raise 2 kids. I grew up in a military community and saw firsthand the sacrifices they make. I will not stand for the disrespect these protesters cause for the sake of another country. My LDOC will be memorable in knowing that my fraternity brothers and others fought to keep the flag up, but it was also memorable in knowing that so many yearn to disrespect it. Now, John Rich initially replied in this thread here on X. He writes, Guillermo, we are so proud of you guys. I'd like to round up some country singers and play this big party you guys are going to have for free. Our buddy Don Bongino wants to live broadcast his show from your place too. How can we make it happen? Rich then turned to his own X account where he wrote, for the boys who protected the American flag at UNC, I'd like to offer a free concert for their celebration of freedom party. Anybody know how to find these young men? Maybe we could talk Dan Bongino into doing a live broadcast from their frat house. Come on, Dan, live a little. And as we saw from his message within Guillermo's thread, it appears that the two did reach out because Rich then shared where he writes, I've made contact with the Patriots at UNC, working on a date to have a massive event to celebrate our flag and those who love her. I'll keep y'all posted. Let's call it Flagstock. Can you make Flagstock trend? Let's go. In addition to John Rich reaching out to these men, there has also been a GoFundMe that has been set up for a fundraiser to help throw a party for these young men. And currently, right now, that GoFundMe sits at over $450,000 raised. As always, guys, thank you all for tuning in here at CountryCast. That's your latest update. Be sure to subscribe down below for any breaking news and updates.